Hello everybody, we are back doing another modern deck tech.
And this time it is rogues.
Can I just say before you start, this has got to be one of my favorite promo arts ever.
It is so pretty.
I absolutely love it. Anyway, go ahead, explain this.
So rogues, of course, all about just the small creatures and hitting and using some weirder, older mechanics. So of course we have the 4 changeling Outcast, which is a 1/1 that can't be blocked and is all things. So it is, of course, a rogue.
Also can't block.
Yes, can't block. So it's just the 1/1 that is consistent sort of damage, but very synergistic with a bunch of cards in the deck. And then we have 4 Thief Guild Enforcer. This is another 1/1 for 1, but this time it has flash, mills a few cards from each of your opponents, which generally is only the one person, and then eventually, once they have 8 cards in their graveyard, it becomes a 3/2 with Death Touch.
Pretty solid.
And then for the 2-drops, we have our main lord. First, it is a 2-mana 1/1 with flying, and each creature, or each rogue that would enter the battlefield gets a +1/+1 counter. So it grows all your things after it. And whenever a creature with a +1/+1 counter you control deals combat damage to a player, they discard a card. So, unblockable.
Yeah.
And
sucks.
Constantly making them discard, a bit of annoying.
Yeah. Plus you have a lot of flyers.
Yes, a lot of flyers and evasion things. So generally you can make them discard cards, and it's very unfortunate. Next 2-drop is, of course, the Reveler of the Rich, or Robber of the Rich. I don't know why I wanted to go with a Reveler. But it is a human archer rogue. So again, we have the rogue type in there, and it has reach and haste, which reach. On a red card. So weird. But when it deals combat damage to a player, if you have less cards in hand than them, then he can steal their top card, and you can cast it whenever you attack with a rogue. And yeah, just having a hasty guy to follow up with a black card is fantastic, because they're thinking like, oh, well, I don't have to worry about it till the turn after that.
Yeah, you kind of expect like a flyer or just something.
Yeah, you expect like a flyer or something that will be annoying the turn after to make you discard, and the robber just flies out of nowhere and can often steal the card off the top and then make them discard. And then, of course, we have 2 Una's Prowlers, another rogue. This one is a 3/1 with flying that does let anyone discard a card to give it -2/-0.
Yeah. 3/1 naturally.
So, 3/1 naturally, so good flying damage. It's tricky to trade with it because they can discard cards to shrink it.
One weird interaction is you can actually discard that card to it.
Yes, if you need the fame, you can of course discard the claim to cast the second half is an option.
It's a weird one, but it's there.
And then for the 4-drops, we have Rankle, Master of Pranks. He's of course a fairy rogue again. And he does a lot of things.
A lot of pranking.
Another haster to follow up with a black card. Being 3/3 naturally and flying haste. But when it deals combat damage to a player, you can choose any number of each player discards a card, each player loses a life and draws a card, and each player sacrifices a creature. So he's just a lot of value into it.
A lot of versatility, yeah.
And then, of course, we have the weird older mechanic in our next 4-drop, which is Stink Drinker Bandit. He is a goblin rogue with Prowl, so he gets cheaper if you dealt damage to a player with a goblin or a rogue. And since our deck is all rogues, pretty easy to activate.
Yeah.
And then he, of course, whenever a rogue you control attacks and isn't blocked, he gets +2/+1. Which, with a bunch of flyers...
And unblockable guys.
And an unblockable guy is a great lord.
Oh, yeah.
When you suddenly turn the Outcast into a lightning bolt to turn, very scary very quickly.
Well, and also, like, you kind of get scared into, like, oh, I'll just take 1 from the Thieves Guild Enforcer or whatever, it's not going to do anything to me. And then you just prowl that out.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's like, yes, I had to pay attention to the rogues dealing damage to me.
Yeah.
And then the other card they have to worry about is Noggin Whack. It's a 4-mana naturally, but 2 mana on the Prowl, with only rogue because it's tribal. It cares about tribal, which is why goblins Stink Drinker has the goblin type. And this one makes them reveal 3 cards, and you get to claim 2 of those cards in the graveyard. So if you go like make them discard with whatever attacked, and then follow it up with a noggin whack, they don't have any cards left in their hand.
Yeah, it sucks.
Or the card they do have is like a Plains. So pretty scary card. And then, of course, we go into our spells. We have 3 Inquisition and 3 Thoughtseize, because you can't make a black deck without the best cards in black.
It's true.
4 Fatal Push as our removal spells. Pretty great all around. We do have cheaper things that tend to die easily, and of course fetch lands to activate the Revolt.
Yep.
Then we have 3 Claim to Fame. We don't have any 3-drops, so running...
Claim over Unearth.
Yeah, Claim over Unearth made more sense. And we are running red for the Reveler Riches, so it's not too difficult to sometimes fame something out of a graveyard.
Well, and also you have hasty things too, so like you have to if there's a Robber Rich in the graveyard, you have to actually be concerned about suddenly getting hit by 4.
Yes. Well, I mean, yeah.
Theoretically, like if you have a Claim Fame in your hand and that's in the graveyard, something like that.
Yes, we do have a few haste things that can come out. And then we have 3 Bitter Blossoms, because this makes 1/1 blue and black fairy rogues. So of course this adds to the rogues. If we have this on the field, they're gonna all be 2/2s.
Oh boy.
And if you can't block all the fairies, they're gonna hit for a lot. So it can get out of hand. And then going into our lands, 2 Mutavaults. We're a rogue deck. Sometimes we're not worried about blockers. We won't ever get the counter, but Stink Drinker, at times, they have to worry about it being 4 instead of just 2. 3 Verdant Catacombs, 3 Bloodstained Mires. Then we have the 4 Blacklead Cliffs. We, of course, primarily black, but with a few red sources. And it's easy enough to make sure that always comes in untapped, because we are low to the ground. We have 2 Blood Crypts, because again, 2 colors, but 7 cards total. Care about red, so we're not too concerned over it. 1 Dragon Skull Summit, because it's shiny. And 5 Swamps.
All right. And that is Rogues. Fun stuff.